Welcome to the Mary D Show. I'm your host, Mary D, here to be your guide as we extract wisdom and life lessons from thought leaders, artists, spiritual luminaries, and wellness experts. In 2018, I healed from breast cancer without the use of chemotherapy or pharmaceuticals. I love biohacking and plant medicine and what it means to be in relationship with spirit so that we can feel whole and complete. I want to sprinkle you with some hope dust, tickle your funny bone, and inspire you to find your inner roar. Get ready to live your most aligned, purposeful, and joy-filled life now. Hello, everyone. Happy 1st of November. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time to bust out the lights and the tinsel if you plan on putting your holiday cheer on display this year. I am definitely in the spirit of giving thanks, not just this month, but every freaking day, because I'm alive and I'm so grateful for every day that I get to wake up and breathe life into a new day. And I hope that you are feeling the same. I'm in a season of love and growth, love for myself, some romantic love showing up, and of course, a love for life. Growth in my own spiritual path and connection to the divine, and growth in some areas that are really uncomfortable for me and stretching me, and I'm welcoming it all. I'm here for it. How about you? When you get stretched and when you feel like you're in a time of growth, do you invite it in with open arms or do you run? I think all of us tend to run a little bit. I am also going to be heading to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny at the end of November. And if you're going, let me know so we can connect in person. I would love that. I bought my ticket a year ago because I felt so called to go. So I'm showing up to play fully, to see what's in store for me there. And when the divine pings me to do a thing, I just do the darn thing. I stopped questioning it a long time ago. I just go for it. That little voice, I believe, is there for a reason. And when you learn to trust it, your world can expand. I'm also facilitating a manifestation ceremony for the Rite of Passage retreat, which is in Austin, December 8th to the 10th. If you need a reset and crave some heart-to-heart connection, this little intimate weekend retreat is for you. Or buy it as a gift for someone you love who could use some emotional nourishment. In addition to the manifestation ceremony, I will be passing out hugs, and you will find me hanging out in the cuddle puddle. Head to maryd.com for details or click the link in the show notes. So today's topic is all of the treatments and therapies that I use to stay on top of my health. I see you over there trying to lose a few pounds, trying to be stronger, trying to keep your mindset right, trying to keep your physical activity up, and I know that at the end of the day, you want to sleep better, you want to have more energy, and you just want to feel good in your own body. If right now you are saying, Mary, what is a immunotherapy? What are these things you're talking about? I'm going to give you a few of my tips on that. So I'm going to pull out my list because I literally just brainstormed and dumped all of the different little hacks and remedies that I use that I want to share with you, that I think are important and will assist you along your journey with better health and wellness. Many of you know that I had breast cancer about 6 years ago, and now I am here living my best life, still very healthy and no more cancer. And it feels really good. Feels really good to be in my body and to be able to say that I feel good in my body. If you've seen me in person, you know that I'm not a skinny, tall person. I'm a curvy, half Asian, half Caucasian, wavy haired woman who loves her soy milk and her funny Asian delicacies. I definitely love my boba tea. So with that, let's start with sleep, because I think sleep is so important. It is the key to everything else, because your sleep sets you up for your day, and it also helps you close out the day that you just had. It is where your body does most of its repair. It is where your body does all of its renewal. So if you are burning the candle on both ends and you're not getting enough sleep for whatever reason, I know a lot of you are out there hustling. I get it. And will operate better in the world from a level of focus and a level of physical activity and how you feel if you get enough sleep, because you're allowing your body to recharge your battery. And I know many of you have heard this scenario before where we talk about if your battery is only half charged and you're running around the world on a half charged battery, then you're never giving your battery that time and ability to just fill up with energy so that you can come and be ready to blast off. You're always operating at half, right? You're always on 50%, and that battery depletes really fast. Sleep is one of your number one tools for living your best life. You'll see it in your skin, and I'll give you guys an example. I got amazing sleep last night, and if you look at my skin, it's looking really good, looks nice and smooth. Normally, I have a little L here, and I have, some of my natural little wrinkles that are coming in. But for 46, this face is looking fresh today. And part of that is great sleep. When I don't get enough sleep, my face is the first place to tell me. And usually this L shows up really defined, and you just see it like the skin is just drier and duller. And part of that is sleep. And I cannot stress enough for you how much sleep will change your life. I sometimes look at pictures of me back from 10 years ago when I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I compare, and I'm like, wow, I look younger now than I did 10 years ago. And I guarantee you it's because I get sleep and I get good quality sleep. So with good quality sleep comes some of those things that I do to get that quality sleep. So one is I do use a sleep mask. I am fortunate enough that in my bedroom, it's faces the back of the property where it's like nature and it's really beautiful. And so at night when it's dark, it's really dark. There's no light pollution back there. However, if I'm not ready to get up with the sun, then I do still have my sleep mask. Also, if for some reason a light goes on outside, a motion light, I'm not disturbed by that in the night. If I've got my eye mask on, it keeps things nice and dark. Quality eye mask, super important. If you can get one that really covers, I'll tell you, I have a little Asian nose, so it means I don't have much of a bridge here. You know that you have a flatter bridge when you wear sunglasses, if they rest on your cheeks and instead of sit up by themselves, that gives you an idea. That's me. My cheeks basically hold up my sunglasses unless I have one of those nose things that go on sunglasses. So I use this kind of mask. If you're on YouTube, you can see the one I'm referring to. I got it from my friends at a Vision Amplifier event, but you can order these and they're amazing because if you are a woman who has long eyelashes or a guy, it's got a deep pockets here so that you have room for your eyelashes. And it just has, the way it sits on your face actually blocks the light from underneath as well, which is great because you get no light leakage, I guess you can call it. So I really love that kind of sleep mask. Some of you may have better ones. Please drop your recommendations here so that people can see them in the comments. Also, if you snore, by the way, I snore, and I only have a very mild amount of sleep apnea, so not enough to really wear a mask, and I probably don't want to anyway, to be quite honest. So what I have is a mouth guard, and it's one of those mouth guards that push your lower jaw forward just a little bit, and it allows for better airflow. It allows for your tongue to not drop back and cause that crazy snoring sound. And my friends have attested to this working. I do wear a mouth guard. For any of you who grind your teeth, you definitely want a mouth guard. It doesn't have to be this one, but this one in particular. There are different brands that offer this. I honestly don't remember what brand the one I have is, but I will drop that in the show notes as well. It's literally one that pushes your bottom jaw just a little bit forward, and it's probably going to be one that has amazing reviews so that you'll know which one to get. But there's a few different ones. I've used mouth guards for many years now as well. And besides that, if you don't snore, or if you don't need the mouth guard, the other piece you're going to want to look into is mouth tape. Oh, yeah. And I know some of you ladies are like, that doesn't sound sexy. Okay, it's not the sexiest thing in the world. However, you are going to breathe so much better because you're training yourself to breathe through your nose. And I feel like that all by itself keeps you from waking up with the dry mouth. Also, if you didn't know this, I had to discover this the hard way. I went to the dentist and he was like, oh, you have a tiny little cavity between your front teeth. And I was like, how's that even possible? And he said, do you mouth breathe? And I was like, yes. And he said, yeah, that's how. He goes, it actually causes cavities. He's like, just the dryness. He's like, just what's happening with those teeth. He goes, they're just in that right spot and it causes cavities. And I was like, how about that? So once I learned that, that was also my adventure into mouth tape. And I've been doing mouth tape for a couple years now. So mouth tape, there's a bunch of different brands. I will tell you, my hack is I actually use a couple different ones so that I am not always using the same adhesive. I use a kinesiology tape when I really want to get a tight lock. There's another one that kind of goes across your lips, like fully across your lips. It has a little hole in the middle. I don't love that one because I feel like if I'm going to mouth tape, I'm mouth taping all the way. Like I don't want any leakage or holes. Some of you are going to have to work through the discomfort or the change, right? Because if you're used to sleeping with your mouth open and suddenly it's closed, you're teaching your body a new way to breathe. Also, disclaimer, please check with your medical professional because if you do have sleep apnea, if you have terrible sinuses or obstructions, then obviously you don't want to tape your mouth closed. So you can check with your medical provider. But for the rest of you that are really looking for those hacks to get good sleep, eye mask, adequate sleep. We're talking probably 7+ hours for most of you. I think the more the better, personally. And the mouth tape, just being able to breathe through your nose are all really helpful. If you grind, if you wake up with headaches, if you have any jaw tightness, putting that mouthpiece in, whether it's, and they make them small these days, guys. So if you look them up and you're like, these all are giant and bulky, there are so many on the market now and they're not all giant and bulky. I guarantee you that. And a lot of them have easy instructions. You can just simply, you throw them in hot water, you mold them to your mouth, and then it's done. And then it doesn't move your teeth around. It's golden. I've never had braces. And I really feel like, honestly, having those mouth guards, especially the ones where you do throw them in a hot water and they mold to your mouth, are really helpful because they make sure your teeth don't move. I did have a bridge put in after my breast cancer surgery because for those of you that have heard the story, you know that I have a big story around how teeth were related to my breast cancer and getting my teeth corrected. The root canals really was, I believe, what was part of my healing. And with that, my teeth did start to move around. So once I got that bridge and then now just using that mouthpiece every night really helps me go, no, it's all staying in place. I got my beautiful smile back, even though I lost a couple of teeth in the process. But at the end of the day, I say, if that's what cancer cost me, then I'm okay with that because healing is a good thing. And so is my quality of life. So the next thing I want to share with you is this little nasal device that I use. I'm telling you how good it is to breathe through your nose. If you want to breathe better, these little devices, I say devices because there's one for each nostril, but if you're on YouTube, you can see me. I'm going to put this up to the camera so you can see what it looks like. And if you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to drop it in the show notes so that you can take a look at it. You can look at it through the link. But this little baby opens up your nostrils and it's actually comfortable. I don't find it uncomfortable. I only find it uncomfortable if you put it in wrong. But if you follow the instructions and you put it in right, it's magic, y'all. It literally, I don't know what it's doing up there, but this little device has sort of like a springiness to it. And that springiness opens up the nasal passage just enough that you're really getting airflow through there. So I actually will take it into a breathwork session, meditation session, and I use it in my sleep. And I really like it. I might wear it all day if the thing didn't say, don't wear this for more than 12 hours a day. I like it that much. And breath, getting a full breath and just feeling more oxygen into your body, just energetically, how good that is for you. Game changer. So we started with sleep. The next one I want to roll into is nutrition. Nutrition is the other piece of this. So this is the right supplementation, and you can do that through your blood tests, your hair testing, your cellular testing. It will let you know what you're lacking or if you have high toxicity. Those tests can be very comprehensive. and they can really shine some light on some areas where you may be having problems. For example, if your B vitamins are low, it's likely you're probably experiencing some fatigue or low energy. So that's an opportunity to go, great, let me get more B vitamins. Whether you do that through updating your diet more, or also they have supplementation for B12 shots that you can go get. Lots of little hacks around your B vitamins. Talk to a nutritionist. They're really going to be able to assist you with that. And with that, I also want to talk about the movement and exercise. So movement and exercise also really play into this. So daily movement, and that might mean something different for each of you. My day looks like stretching twice a day. So stretching in the morning, stretching before bed. It also means movement. For me, it's typically going to be a hike or a walk for at least an hour where I'm getting 5,000 to 6,000 steps. On really good days, I'll be hitting over 10,000 steps. My ideal is being able to get that hour into nature where I hike, nothing too vigorous. I'm not running. I'm not jogging. For some of you, it might be running. It might be weightlifting. On opposite days, I do alternate and add in an alternate add-in of like kettlebell and some light calisthenics. That's what works for me. Obviously, I will also go to yoga maybe once a week, but that's all I personally need. And that's what feels good for me in my body, keeping up with giving myself enough reasons to be ready to put my head down on that pillow at the end of the night. But you really have to look and see what works for you. And it might be a heavy workout. We're all designed differently. So lean in to who you are and what works for you. Maybe it's a group class. Maybe it's a bar class. Maybe it's a cycling class. Maybe it's actually buying a bicycle and biking around for 45 minutes to an hour every day. Maybe it's a 2-hour workout because you really like to grind when you get into the gym. Totally up to you, but exercise, nutrition, and sleep, so much of it. And so much of that has contributed to my healing in a really great way and my overall health and wellness. So I want to encourage all of you to look at doing those 3 things. I'm also going to just mention that there are other immunotherapies that I do, and these I do very regularly. So this is going to be cryotherapy or cold plunge. That's usually at least 2 to 3 times a week. Also the sauna to be able to sweat out toxins, to be able to just feel my body sweat. I actually don't sweat easily. So for me, a sauna is a great way to do that. The other one is red light therapy. Red light has been shown to be great for your cells, cellular regeneration, and also we want to take care of our cells. So it's one way we do that through the red light. The other one is I do get my 15 to 20 minutes of sunshine every day. I will typically take a break in the morning, go sit out by the pool and just suck in the sunshine. And all it takes is 15 or 20 minutes. And you can do more or less of that, depending on who you are and where you're at. The other one is going to be compression. So when my legs are sore, then I use compression pants, and those compress the muscles in your legs using air, and then they let them go. And you can find that at a lot of wellness centers. If you're in an area and you're like, ooh, what's red light? What's compression? If you look up some wellness centers in your area, and I would just type in red light therapy in my area or cryotherapy in my area, it's very likely that those wellness centers will have some of these tools and gadgets for you to try and work through and see what feels good for you. And when it comes back to nutrition, I do want to share a couple of small hacks that I do that are my own little concoction I do at home. One of them is a ginger tonic that I do in the morning, which is ginger, coconut water, turmeric, black pepper, and a little bit of hot water and a little bit of honey. I actually take the hot water and I throw in the ginger and the turmeric, everything except for the honey and the coconut water, throw it all in there and blend it up. And then you can choose to strain it. I like it chunky. I leave it like it is. And then once it cools down a little bit, that's when I add the honey because I don't want to lose the enzymes. And then I put all of that together in little 2-ounce bottles, and I bottle it up for about 2 weeks worth of bottles. So 14 little 2-ounce bottles. And I drink that. That's a part of my every morning routine, along with a bite of sauerkraut. Some of you are like, Mary, that's so gross, but I believe in something fermented every day. And for me, it is that little bite of sauerkraut that does the trick. Some of you might use kimchi. You might eat pickles. Everyone's different. Find your groove, find what works for you, because your gut health is definitely one of those things that also speaks to your body. So much happens in our mouth that happens in our gut that communicates with the rest of our body. And so I think super important to keep those areas clean and to keep them nutritionalized in a way that feeds your body all the good things. Like I said, I like boba. So if I go have a store-bought boba, it's probably got a little more sugar in it than it's going to have if I make it for myself at home. But I can help offset some of the things that won't be ideal for my body by doing the things that are. So this is the way that you get to indulge fully. At least it's how I've been doing it. So sharing that with you. And then the other thing that I think is most important when it comes to thinking about the biohacking things that have worked great for me are also community. And some of you are like, that's not a biohack. It's not, but it's something that I would put on my list, high on the list of having a community that supports you, being surrounded by friends and family, or friends or family, depending on how your relationships roll. But having those people in your life who love and care about you and want to see you take care of yourself and can also be there for you when times are low or when you need encouragement. So I encourage you to get into community. And if you're like, okay, Mary, I don't know where I can find community, or I'm confined to my house, there are lots of online communities, whether that's a Facebook group, whether it's a group, let's say that you wanted to learn more about yoga, that's your thing. There's lots of yoga communities. So go find the one that resonates with you. Go find the one that feels good. Maybe you're a mom and you want to find other moms. There are mom communities. There's places like meetup.com, and there's also a lot of these dating sites that have an option for just friends. I think Craigslist is even still doing a group, but within that, you can find professional communities. There's so many opportunities to find other people who are like you, that can be your friends, who can be your community. If you just open your eyes and look for them, there's going to be ways you can Google it. And also the good old fashioned way, which is to ask for a referral. Throw it out there on Facebook and say, hey, who knows a group that loves to XYZ? Go to the gym, go on hikes, go to the movies, whatever it is. Find your people, because they will support you and help you in so many beautiful ways that are encouraging and are going to be better for your overall mental health and wellness than just trying to do it by yourself. We are all here to be connected, and we don't have to do it alone. So just know that. I've always known that I don't have to do it alone. And I think it's one of the reasons why I've felt like I have a lot of moral support. If you are having any limiting beliefs around that, if you feel like you've had to do it alone or that you can only do it alone, then I encourage you to shift out of that. And you can do that really quickly by locating those groups and becoming part of them and reaching out to old friends and family to rekindle some relationships that may have gone by the wayside, because you really don't have to do it by yourself. All right. And the other one on that would also be dogs. Dogs are my favorite. It's actually pets, but I chose to lead with dogs. So dogs also have been amazing. I think there's studies on if you have a dog that like your lifespan is naturally like you're going to live a few years longer. So just throwing that out there. I'm sure it's probably the same for cats, all kinds of animals that could use a home and could use love. And I think that it's the act of caring for something other than yourself, having that level of responsibility, and then watching how a lot of times that animal will return that love to you in ways that you can't even fathom. There's lots of great animals in the world looking for an adopted family, even some that have been abused and could use a good home. So keep that in mind also as you're thinking about all these beautiful ways to be healthier and happier in your life. So good sleep, good nutrition, movement, move your body, get that exercise in there, have community, and enjoy some of these other things. Maybe it's a massage. I get a 2-hour massage every week, full body. It definitely gets in there, does the work, does the trick, relieves the tension, and make sure that physically my body is also feeling good and works out any toxins. And I think the last little antidote I have for you is on laughter. Laughter is the best medicine, because legit, it is the best medicine. When I was going through my cancer diagnosis, it was definitely one of the ways that really helped me get out of a rut and help me like look at life lightheartedly again and remember that there's so many things we can just have fun with, right? So don't take offense, have some fun with it, watch some comedy, go watch old videos of your family that make you laugh, old videos of your friends, old videos of yourself. I recently was with my niece filming in Oregon. We were at a wedding and we're in this beautiful mountaintop and there's like this field and the grass is really tall. And I was like, ooh, let's do one of those videos where I'm like running through this field. And as I'm doing it, I'm 100% tripping over myself. And it's so funny because my niece is taking the video. And when she's taking it, she's thinking, oh, this is really good. But I'm laughing so hard at the end because I know I'm falling all over the place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, play it back. She plays it back. She starts laughing. She goes, I didn't realize how bad this was until we played it back. I go, oh, I know. I said, I need to go find one of those videos online of someone actually doing it gracefully and then being like what I thought I looked like and what it actually was. And then you would see me falling all over the place. So anyway, she tells me how that just brought so much joy to her. And I may try send it to her so that when she needs a good laugh, she can open it up and watch it and get a good giggle. Life gives us all kinds of situations. And I think a lot of them are there so that we can laugh at them and laugh at ourselves. So we're not taking ourselves too seriously. Many of you have also heard me talk about plant medicine. So I will touch on this briefly because plant medicine has been such a beautiful, transformative tool in my life. It's one of those things where I think that you can really go deeper, especially if you struggle with going deeper. I highly recommend a lot of you start with breath work first. But if you want to go deep and you want to get in there and you want to figure out maybe some things that might be lingering under the surface, plant medicine can be a really beautiful tool to help you do that, whether that is a psilocybin journey, whether that is an ayahuasca ceremony, whether that is using THC or marijuana. There are so many really beautiful plant medicines out there that can assist you in those altered states, but can also really help you get past the layers that you're having a tough time getting past. It was my joy to share with you all of my fun biohacks and things that I do to stay upright and energetic. Tune in next week for a new episode. And until then, may abundance always walk beside you. May joy always go before you. And may love always guide you on your path. Thank you for joining us on today's show. I hope that today's session inspires you to live an aligned life where you get to take complete ownership of your feelings and decisions to live in your truth. You can connect with me more at www.maryd.com. You can also catch us on YouTube at The Mary D Show. Head on over to Instagram and Facebook and type in @TheMaryD and just look for the little blue check to ensure you're on my official page.